I first went to London in the 1980s, and looking back, I have no idea how I paid for anything. I mean, getting on the tube, going to museums, buying train tickets, no clue. Did I use cash? Maybe traveler's checks. Who knows? This past spring break, my wife, daughter, and I went to London. This video shows a few of the things we saw and enjoyed. This 11th century church has been the site of every English coronation since 1066. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it contains the burial of over 3,300 individuals. Not far from Westminster Abbey are the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben, which was completed in 1859. Elizabeth Tower, which used to be called the Clock Tower, rises 316 feet, and the bell inside it weighs 13.7 tons. This free museum, which was created in 1824, has some 2,300 Western European paintings from the 13th to the 20th century. That is Rembrandt's Lover, supposedly. There are other paintings you are bound to recognize. After finishing at the National Gallery and having a quick dinner, we headed to see a 1986 classic, Phantom of the Opera. That's Harry Potter on a broom, wasn't it? More about him on another vlog. Stay tuned. St. Pancras Station was built in 1868 with some 60 million red bricks. It was almost demolished in the 1960s, but refurbished in 2007 for 800 million pounds. It's across the way from King's Cross Station. Not too far from those train stations is the British Library, which has 13.5 million printed books inside it, as well as some other famous documents that include the Magna Carta and the Diamond Sutra, which is the world's oldest dated printed document. Once you enter, you encounter the Queen Elizabeth II Great Court, which is the largest covered public square in Europe. The British Museum contains some 8 million objects, but only 1% of them are on display. This is a reading room that is just enormous in size, but hasn't been used as such since the 1970s. This supposedly is the world's most famous chess set, and there is the Rosetta Stone, or the back of it anyway. After the museum, we crossed the Millennium Bridge, which was completed in, no surprise, the year 2000. It offers great views looking back at St. Paul's Cathedral and, of course, the Thames River. St. Paul's was designed by Christopher Wren and completed in 1710. It has a 365-foot dome, and it was London's tallest building for more than 250 years. After that, after crossing the Millennium Bridge, we walked over to Blackfriars Bridge and made our way toward our next attraction. In the 19th century, this was established as a produce market, but now it sells other things. Out back, there is a setup, or there was when we were there, of a movie being screened for those willing to pay a little extra.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
This UNESCO World Heritage Site has its roots in the 11th century and is famous for its beef eaters, who are actually tour
Tower of
guides.
London, the World Heritage Site. My name's Yeoman Warder Basham Briggs. I'm one of 35 Yeoman Warders that work and live here at the Tower. Unfortunately, due to the inclement weather, hopefully it's going to clear up a little bit later on, we can't do the full Yeoman Warder tour. So what we will do is going to make our way up to where them yeomen are, go through here and make our way to the Chapel Royal of St Peter of Vincula, where we can sit down in the dry and I can give you a bit of a picture in chains. This is still a working chapel. We have services here every Sunday. Weddings, baptisms take place inside here. This is still a place of Christian worship. So gentlemen, if your religion allows you to do so, could you please remove all your headgear whilst you're inside?
We spent about 3 hours at the Tower of London. The first thing we did was line up for the crown jewels, and that was a smart move because the line got substantially longer after we had visited them. Then we got in a line for the torture exhibit, and I was expecting big things, but turns out it was just one room. Wild animals were for a time unfortunate residents at the tower as well. Beware, if you go up to the second level, you could get caught in traffic. Tower Bridge, which was designed to complement the nearby Tower of London, was completed in 1894. It stretches 800 feet across the Thames, and Each of its two towers is about 200 feet high. The gate in the middle opens approximately 800 times a year, and we were fortunate enough to see one of those times when we visited. Borough Market has been around for more than 1,000 years. At its current location, it's only chalked up about 270 years. It has over 100 stalls. Our daughter was pleased with the 5 pound fresh organic apple slushy she purchased at the stall. You can see the sign to the right. The previous incarnation of London Bridge now resides in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Leadenhall Market was an inspiration for the Harry Potter films. That evening, we went to see Operation Mincemeat. We had excellent seats, although the leg room was almost non existent. Great show. We kind of dialed it back on our last full day in London. Took it rather easy, did some shopping. We began the day, however, by going to a place that is famous for the Beatles. They did a lot of their recording at Abbey Road Studios, and of course, the album Abbey Road had a cover that featured the four blokes walking barefoot across that crosswalk, which today many tourists come to replicate that album cover, and it's rather a dangerous spot, in my opinion. Some of the locals who drive through it are impatient with the tourists and squeal away or honk their horns loudly at those who are posing for photographs. The gift shop, there's the Abbey Road Studios in the background. The gift shop is full of very expensive items related to the Beatles. On our way to shopping, we went through lovely Regent's Park. That Saturday night, we strode back to our hotel via the Soho district, which was brimming with lots of activity. Not my scene exactly, but I think all of the people there who were young and into partying were having a pretty good time. Our accommodations in London were here at Earl's Court. We found them to be quite adequate for our needs. A large room, it had a washer and dryer and a kitchen. So overall, it was a nice place for us to have as our base during our week long trip.